Just for about me, I'm the VP of International Development of OBEO, one of the co-founders, and I am a member of the board of directors of Eclipse Foundation. So we'll do a quick overview of Sirius. The goal today is not to give you an introduction to Sirius, just if some of you don't know Sirius, it's just to give you the first main point to understand of what I will explain later. Sirius is an open source project which aims to simplify and create your own graphs. So by you can imagine today when you do engineering task, you could use PowerPoint, video, Word, and you would like to have modeling tools fit exactly your vocabulary and the way you want to transformation. With classical tools, it's hard. You have to modify them. It's quite complex. It needs high skills. With Sirius, we simplify deeply the way that the tool specifier will create their concept, thanks to DMF, and the way they want to style them with a cal shape, an SVG image, some boxes, and you can choose very in a simple way how you want to do this. And for the end user, they will have dedicated tools perfectly fit their business. Concretely, you have an engine which interprets in live the configurations by the tool specifier, which define this concept will be with a rectangle we can change of 4 depending on one constraint. And in live, you have the result here, which appears with diagrams, table, matrix. It's very funny to use it because you see the result instantly. Here is an example of how does it works. I specify first container here. I want to render a family with a container which contains something. And is white to light green. So it appears as soon as I do this mapping. After, I say that each man, which are in my models, to use an SVG image, this one. And for each woman, it will be another image. So I do mapping of how to find the answer in my models and how to render it graphically. And last, I want to show the father link and mother link. So you can imagine this link a simple direct link in your model or a complex query where you hide all the intermediate to show directly one age. And so what I show you with a PowerPoint animation in the tools is quite the same. You define on the left and it's live on the right. Quick overview of the process. Sirius is open source technology which has been created at the beginning by OBEO and Thales by an open innovation process. And it's live in Eclipse for several years, 2 or 3. We will reach the 4.0 versions for Neon release. And there will be at the end of today a talk dedicated on this with a very new feature, which will be the properties view, which are dynamic and specified in the same way that you do for the graphical aspect. It's very cool. Sirius is a product which is deployed already on very large project. Some part of aircraft are creating with Sirius. Some part of a nuclear plant are built with Sirius too. Some very large ministry use Sirius for all their software development process. And something very cool is that there are plenty of different use cases. Sometimes it's for software architecture to see all the output and input of software. Sometimes it's just as a replacement PowerPoint. So how do we do usually on a real project to make it happen? As we do generic technology, it's very hard the use cases of Sirius, where Sirius could fit a real need. For us, as the Sirius core, is very hard to detect this. So we made a kind of gallery, which is this website, if I can show you. Show plenty of different cases of Sirius. Because it's visual, it's very fun and very simple to show some kind of result. And we let the open source way to have all this information publicly available, to let some users detect this, to detect some use cases that they think could be interesting in their use cases. Just this example, for example, is the organization of a supply chain for plasticurgy. The guy ordered Sirius, and after they say, "Oh, that's exactly something which seems to be of our use cases." So the first use cases is on your side to imagine what could be the use cases of Sirius. So if you have some use cases, contact Frederick, which is there, and we can put this kind of your screenshot in this web page. It will be very useful for me and for the deployment of this everywhere. So that's the first step. After, for a real project, we have to do this first step as something very important. It's to define the domains. To do this, we have to really, it's to, if you have some requirement to rely on an existing domain models or an existing standard, we'll look at it and see how we can exploit it. But if you start from, we'll ask you to define your, we'll just write a report in English, in French, of what you said, and after just highlight all the keywords that you mentioned inside your own, with your own words, to define domain models with your vocabulary. After there are several ways to do good domain models. Some are quick and dirty, and others are extendable for future evolutions. And that's very important that when you create domain models, new concept for future iteration is quite easy, but moving some concept, renaming or delete them is more heavy task because you need to do a migration of the task. So we try to think the domain model in a way which is where you can inherit and be generic enough to not cover 1% of your scope at the first, but to have something which will be broken by the next versions. We do this usually with a team with one expert and one domain expert. It's just easier to do without the domain expert. And later, for the graphical, usually we took our input a PowerPoint or visual, or a paper and a pen, just to describe without any technical requirement what you want to achieve. So sometimes it's directly on the wall. We design, and after we'll do the prototype in lab. In our real project, something very cool is that the methods can apply very fluently because it's visual. So we can do some sprint of 1 week, but around each day, we can send an email or a ticket to the users just to show graphically the way you want to render the information. And so we are very, very quick cycle the feedback and the realizations. On this part, usually a part 2 lines of ramp up at the beginning. Customer outsource lots of reason to be able to do a part of the designers, but each week they ramp up on the technology to be autonomous on a part of the project, And so at the end, they can maintain by themselves their designers. And as always, with any technology, there are 20% of the, or 10% of their designer which are very complex, and so they continue to some expertise to do this. The last step is to leverage, so to create connectors, to import some information, to export some information, to do documentation generation, code generation, to do the model live in your integrations. Of course, we do this with cycles. This 3 stones is only 1 week for only 1 sprint. So how we start? In general, we start with a proof of concept project. So we go directly to the point as fast as possible to show something which seems to be near the end of the user. Our feedback is that around 5 to 15 days we succeed really to think which is credible enough to go to a real project where there are some real use it on a real operational project. And after this, we try to do all the installations. For example, we do RCPTT testing to do visual testing and automatic testing, doing packaging with Taiko. On the business model principle, we have, I think, an interesting study at OBEO, because before this technology was a proprietary technology, and changed our business model several years ago with these principles. So, no wrong locking. You can import your models when you want. You continue to be in the commercial offer of OBEO only if you want, and not because we force you. Something that when I create OBEO, I really want to create software editors, but to keep the spirit of open source. And I think that's something which is very important. It's to be clear of what you need to pay, free, but to keep in mind that there is no vendor locking and you continue to be happy. No entry cost. That's something which was very strange. At the beginning, you don't know exactly what will be the use cases of Sirius in your company. Try to convince your managers to pay tools. You don't know what it will be relevant in your context. That was the nightmare. So today, our customers succeed to use it for free, to create a call for tender to buy a license, can test, and after they discover that it creates a real value on their project, you buy the subscription to maintenance and support. So it's completely different business models than before. And I think for each product which is with a new methods, open source is a good way to diffuse this methodology. Another point quite important, it's sustainability. It was our main questions we had with our previous technology is how we will do in 10 years if OBEO disappears. And we lose plenty of contracts because of this. Using an open source business, we never had any times this question again. And something cool, each of these customers where it is important to have this sustainability, they continue to pay, and they pay more. So we really succeed to have more business with an open technology than a proprietary technology. That's quite funny and a good news for the open source. And we want to propose guarantees of software editor. Plenty of customers want to say that open source is dangerous because you don't know who to contact if you have any troubles. It's magic, it's bizarre. So usually in the sales process, we are a classical software editors. You buy license, the sales guy doesn't care, the sales license as usual. 100% of the code of our commercial offer is open source. So that's something also which is very important. So for this project, we create this designer offer in this mind, and we like to focus deployment of the technique after the creation of your models. Sorry. So you create with Serious for free, do some expertise trainings, and after when you want to deploy, it's there that there is a real risk. You do if 20% of 20% in your team are blocked because of a bug. If you open a bug on your news group, perhaps the community will answer it, perhaps not. So by just having a contract, it makes sense. So that's the kind of story. It's quite interesting because we lose some customers, to be honest. But usually there are very small contracts, which was something around 2,000, 3,000 euros. And for this contract, usually we lose money with them. So today, they use it for free, and that's cool for us. We lose more money. But for large customers, we want a real deployment. Sustainability and was really a problem. And having something with a dedicated support guarantee of response time is just a must-do. So we just focus on real project and real customers. So we put our value three parts. The support, where guarantee of response. The communication can be on our own Jira. So you can put some keys which are under NDA, patches, models, code which are under NDA. But you can also the open user forum, so we can share the information and the knowledge base with everybody. We can also create some dedicated branches of Serious every time you open. But if a customer wants to deploy the 3.0.2 version of Serious and keep this version in live for 2 years, in the open, we just maintain the last version of Serious. So with a commercial contract, he can keep his choice of major versions, and we will manage it in this way. That's also a value that we propose for professional development. Collaboration, I will come back on this later because it's the second part of my talk. And drive the roadmap. We propose them to do open innovation with us, so to be to listen for their expectation about Serious based on their requirements, and also they can reserve a part of workload to directly this workload in a common vault to work on some specific feature. Here's a kind of feedback of overview, sorry, of this offer. So two kind of offers, just small project, critical project, something like this. So after this, you know that Serious has all Eclipse project. Most of the Eclipse project are just an Eclipse plugin. So you need to install an Eclipse, to install all the dependency, all the basic to work on. So it could be complex to discover the technology. So we created our own bundle with the trademark OBO. So step to know that is behind Serious. Something you invest several million of euros in open source technology, just that user heard about who is creating the technology. And we put it free access with 100% PM code to discover it with a binary ready to use on the web. We also use these community editions to have control by OBO to do maintenance. Sometimes we have plenty of companies say that they have some bugs with tools, but it's come from other which change the behavior of the platform itself. So it's just impossible to do maintenance in this way. Editor maintenance. When I say editor maintenance, fixed price maintenance, where we pay everything about the maintenance, and we cannot pay the maintenance of other plugins which change our own behavior. So we use these bundles to have a way to simulate bugs in an official way. And look at another edition with the team aspect. So everybody, every customers, we want to be in a pure open source aspect, can use it. And if you want to use the team edition and team features, it's here in our offers what is proprietary and what is not. So that's something also very important for me. Don't hide any, and so we split in two parts to be very clear and not hide any. So I will present you the with some demo. First, the collaborative workflow with a classical serious usage is to work locally, and after to merge the conflict and the two versions between two users with an SCM. In this way, it's quite complex. It could be quite complex. You need some technical skills to manage the live staging of the comparison, the merge. So it's not a bit hard. So some users try to avoid this kind of merge by creating a fragment file. So split one file into several ones. I will show you in the live demo. That's a good one. Here I have a models. That's a view here of a designer, which is a conference. I can create some speaker, create some talk, create some room, and that's the example of SiriusCon. If you want to have more information about Sirius, there is one worldwide conference in Paris at the end of November. So here I have several views. Program meeting here. Here, a tree-based editors. Okay. Now, I want to extract this customer testing because I know that I will have. I have somebody else who wants to on this topic, so I can right-click on this container, say call. Yes, save before doing this. It asks me in which file I want to save this sub-element. And when I export, it tells me to export also some graphical representation. So I can by default to export each representation which are inside this container. Or I can say that, I can also ask you to export any other representation. So I will let it like this. And now, change thing. I can continue to work here. It will work as usual. Anything else, except that there is a small annotation here. We say that this element is under control. So if I go to the file systems, I can see that now I have a new file here, conference. So I can commit just this file if I want. And as I asked to also some representation, I have another file which stores just the graphical aspect of my model. Because in series there are usually two files, one for the graphical aspect and one for the data. It doesn't pollute the data with graphical aspect. So you can manage in a way and split your element and file. At the end, in the generic tree editors, it's something which is quite fluent and which works as usual. Of course, I can ask to uncontrol to come back in the initial state. For doing the merge, if I have some conflict, I can use EMF compare, which is useful to see what are the difference, the moves, some renaming, etc. We are launching for Neon an experimental feature, which is a graphical difference with EMF compare. So you can see all this kind of difference graphically. That's still in the early stage, but you will be able to test it for Neon. So model fragment, you need to care with some technical complexity, and you will have just the granularity of the file. So sometimes it is too constrained to your collaboration, and usually with large team, it just doesn't scale, or it's heavy process and it's quite complex. So the goal now is to get rid of file sharing and to try to don't have this kind of graph, which is usually the start of all the other modding tools on the market. And what we did is I look at Google Docs, how they work, and we just see that it just works without any, just natural to collaborate with a Google Docs document. You just work together. There is an history of each modifications, and we try to recreate the same kind of user feedback. With just one difference is Google Docs, if you see in live what somebody else is creating, that's good because it's text. If it's graphical and you see all the shape which move, at the end you will have some trouble because you will try to clean it. So we prefer to use a system. So to do this, we don't reinvent the wheel, and we choose to be based on a very great project called Eclipse CDO, made by a very great guy. Not only you, guys with an S. And so how does it work? You have two users. This time the model is not stored locally on laptop, but on a relational database, which is accessible by remote. Usually, we advise customers to put this server in their own hand to reduce the lag, because if you put some element key and you wait seconds just to do the notification with a server which could be on the cloud, something, it's becoming erratic. So we prefer to do on-premise. I will show you in live directly. It will be better than slide. So I already launched my server. It's a Java-based server, so it works with Windows, of course. And I will have two users. Wait, yeah. First one, and where it is. Okay, that's here. On the left, I have my first user. On the right, my second. I will change here the name of the speakers. I modify you can see on the left that there are some green lock. We say that you have of this element and this link because a dependency stored by the speaker. And on the right side, without doing anything on the it show me that I cannot modify anymore this element. So if I try, I cannot. It's blocked. And now, as you can see, the palette, we move any element because the graphical diagrams has been locked too, because it have an impact, the name, on the graphical design. If I save here, it will be fine in this domain. Now, if I go there, I will try to come back to Didier, Mark now. Touch. Here it is. Okay. And I can do the same. This time, that's with two different representations of the same information. If I save, we'll continue to have this lock. But of these times, I can modify somebody else. So if I come here, you will see Arnaud. And I will say that it's Arnaud LT. And this time, this element is locked on the left side. So we can really collaborate on the same model simultaneously without any risk to have some conflict and to have some problems of consistency between the two. I save it, I save on the left, and everything is refreshed. I can show you in also some new way the information. This is a new feature of Sirius Swift 1, which is combined the compartment. You can have some containment which are organized vertically, horizontally. And here, that's a table with some data. If I come back here, you will see here the time. And here, if I modify that, you'll have a lock on the right side. It changes, and it changes the tree too. Of course, everything is stored. You can have some user profile with a login password to know who is doing commit. You can force to have a different for each commit to have a perfect traceability of who is doing what. It's still an EMF mode, so if all your Java code for import, export, and code generation in the same way. Where is the presentation? Okay. On the team, it's called Designer Team, based on a specific need of Sirius and CDO, of course. And we use the H2 database per default, and we have also some deployment with Postgre. The feedback, they reduce the time lost by managing conflict. I show you just implicit locking modification, but I can also do an explicit locking. I click on any element, say I want to do a lock on this graph of element, so I can work after alone of all these three elements. And we can usually work up to 15, 20 users simultaneously, really simultaneously on the same data. Okay, and there are also some data access. You can also, we have some feedback of user. We work with different teams, which automatic export each hours, each day to a. So that's a kind of which work fluently too. Then, if I don't make mistake, this with Jenkins, we do the export automatically. It's already deployed in with Thales, for example. In Capella, you can go to Capella to have more information on the Capella system with some very large team. Ministry of Defense, at Airbus. It's used also in tools for enterprise architectures. So it's quite reliable. I already mentioned this. If you are interested about Sirius, join us at SiriusCon in this. If you don't know, very nice town. Yes, it was quite cool. I think most 99% of persons say that they really enjoy the event. So see you there. Thank you.